Hi, friends. Welcome to Novel Hours Bookish Gossip session. We're talking pop culture and all the things. I'm Victoria from Biblio Lifestyle.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Francesca from Under the Covers.
So, we are three friends. We go live every Thursday. You can also catch us this Thursday at 12 noon Eastern Time for our regular live show. But we're doing it every other Monday gossip sesh where we're just going to catch up on everything new in the bookish community, in pop culture, and just in general at large. We want this to be a light, fun, frothy conversation, but we might get into it a little bit. So if you have opinions, we'd love to hear from you. Please share them in the comments if you're watching live. If you're watching the replay, we'd love to hear from you as well. So replay crew, share your opinions in the comments as well. And also, if you have a topic you want us to cover, we would love to hear from you too. Okay, so let's get into things. We're going to start with something light and frothy until everyone comes on in. One big news headline this week is the fact that bookshop.org is now selling ebooks. So just in case you're not familiar, bookshop.org is an online marketplace. They sell books, and essentially every time you make a purchase, a percentage of that goes towards supporting indie bookstores. Now, indie bookstores can open their own storefronts so they can get their affiliate revenue. And then content creators like us can also create an affiliate profile and also get affiliate revenue from them. So this is their latest announcement, eBooks. And I have some thoughts. I'm just going to share it real quick. I honestly don't know where this is going. I hope it works out. As a content creator, let's just say bookshop.org doesn't really work for me. Okay. Most of y'all click on Amazon links instead of bookshop links. I shared bookshop exclusive links for 2.5 years. Then I started sharing Amazon links and I was like, oh, this is what I was missing out on. Look, I know we love our indie bookstores and we want them to survive, but I just don't know if the online support is there. That's maybe me being a pessimist or a cynic. But Francesca, what do you think about bookshop.org selling ebooks?
So, same as what you just said, I really hope that this takes off because I would like to see some diversity in the sense of how authors can make money. I think that right now, book sales in general are dominated by Amazon. So, if you're not on Amazon, you're not making money basically. So, and that is the bulk of the income for most authors. So, I think that's also a difficult place for readers to be able to support the authors that they want to support. But if the bulk of their money is coming through Amazon, it kind of like forces them to be exclusive with Amazon for some of them, especially when it comes to stuff like Kindle Unlimited, which a lot of the books that maybe Laura and I read more are Kindle Unlimited books for the majority of it. So I would love to see a different platform that can start rivaling that. And I really hope that this is the one. I do like bookshop.org as a company. I think that, same like you, I was sharing the bookshop.org links and nobody was clicking on them. Same with Libro FM. They do also support indie bookstores for an alternative to Audible. And you guys are not clicking on those links. So I would love to see people support programs that also support indie bookstores more. So I really want this to do well. But yeah, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
iffy about how it's going to go.
What about you, Laura?
So I got some FAQs about this rollout. So it works in an app. It's not does not work on your Kindle because obviously Amazon doesn't let you work non-Amazon products in your Kindle e-ring, e-ink, Paperwhite, or whatever it is. So if you want to have an e-ink and want to read those ebooks, I would suggest using Books, which is an alternative Kindle Paperwhite that you can use other apps. So that's an alternative. In terms of indies, Amazon actually, if you have any indies that are in Kindle Limited, they're not going to be an ebook and they're not going to be in bookshop.org. They're using Ingrid Sparks and Direct to Publish. So they're looking for a pathway for indies to publish. So hopefully that, but Ingrid Sparks has its own issues. So it's not the most author centric or supportive. So it should be interesting for indies. There are some sales and deals similar to what the Kindle sales are. So they're comparative, like publishers set those sales prices, so you can get some good deals. So it is hopefully it's an alternative. I think it's for mainly for traditional published books, which is what Bookshop has been for. So it's the big five, maybe some small presses. But if you're looking for indie authors, at least in the area where I focus on, which is thrillers and romance, you're not going to find those books. And that's why I stopped using it because I wasn't able to find books that my readers were looking for.
Yeah. I actually have a question also in terms of an alternative. I've always seen Kobo as a possible alternative, but and they also have their own e-reader. So like you could get the Kobo e-reader and you could get on the Kobo platform and buy the ebooks through there. They also have a subscription service. So I find it interesting that something that's already very robust and well put together hasn't really taken off
Yeah.
already. So I don't know if an alternative going for like a bookshop.org now, which is really, like you said, it's not going to have the variety, at least for the indies. I don't know how that's going to play out, which is why I think that Amazon continues to have the monopoly that it does.
Yeah, like Kobo has resources because they're owned by Rakuten, so they're
Mhm.
actually it's owned by a big corporation. If you buy ebooks in Walmart, they're actually Kobo ebooks. That's where you get it from Walmart. So there is actually it's a big core. So Bookshop is kind of like the little corporation that's trying to just fight the Goliath. But
Yeah.
it's so hard. Kobo is well known in Canada. That's how you get your library books from Canada. There's actually internationally there's a more
Mhm.
robust place, and hopefully it's a better alternative for the unlimited plus. I know a lot of authors who have been kicked out of Kindle Limited are moving to Kobo Plus
Mhm.
because it does give you pay a flat fee. It's cheaper than Kindle Limited. At the same time, you get unlimited books you can borrow.
Right.
Yeah. Well, needless to say, bookshop.org is now selling ebooks. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you're watching live, we'd love to hear from you. Replay crew, we'd love to hear from you as well. I just feel that some of these companies need to consolidate against Amazon because everyone independently doing their own thing, it creates fractions. And what we need is something big to really, if you want to take on Amazon, you need something big. Also, I forgot to mention at the top, bookshop.org is the brainchild and it's from the American Booksellers Association. So, just to give you an understanding of who is behind all the things.
Mhm.
All right. So, next up, we want to talk about Rebecca Yarros and Onyx Storm. So, on Vulture, there was this article, The Rise of Rebecca Yarros, Mother of Dragon Smut. Now, I know people have some thoughts about the language, smut, and it being used. People also have opinions on Rebecca Yarros herself. People have opinions on the books and the series. Regardless of all those opinions, I feel there's one thing that's extremely undeniable. Her books sell. They are flying off the shelves like nobody's business. Publishers can't print them fast enough. It doesn't matter, special edition, regular, it just people are buying the books, they're loving the books, and somehow they connect with it. I would love to hear from you guys watching, if you're watching live, if you're watching the replay too. Are you reading this series? How do you feel about Rebecca Yarros? What are your thoughts? But also, Fran, you and I have been talking, and there's like a history behind word usage and how they're marketing things right now. And, to me, it's a little concerning, but I'm also wondering why. Like, why lead with this foot? What do you think?
So the first thing I'm going to say is that actually I haven't read the books and I personally haven't read Rebecca Yarros. However, I have actually worked with Rebecca Yarros in years before. Like she's not a new author. So I am super happy to see that her hard work throughout the years has really paid off in seeing her have something that's really successful right now. So like from someone that's been in the book community for a while and I have seen her chug along at her career. Like this is not an instant success kind of author. So I can really appreciate it and I give her all the props and it really makes you happy when you see somebody that's worked really hard get somewhere and have something that finally has the result. That being said, the word smut. I know that the book talk community has taken the word smut and has turned the kind of the sex positivity of it all. But the problem that I see with it from someone that's been around for a really long time and has seen the dissing on the genre itself of romance as a whole, people have fought really hard to get recognition and get kind of see the genre seriously for what it is, that is not just about the sex scenes, whether they have a lot of sex scenes or not. And there is a whole subgenre of romance that is fully like it's packed with the sex scenes. So you can go for erotica or erotic romance, and that's where you go for that. But to just generalize a whole genre that may just have, I have no idea how many sex scenes are in these books, but I don't think it's a lot because that's not how Rebecca Yarros writes. So to see, especially such a large publication, reducing a book that probably has a lot of world building and all of this other stuff, like they would never reduce a book by, I don't know, like a Game of Thrones types book and reduce it to the sex scenes, but they do that with romance by just throwing that word in there. So I think it takes away from the merits of the author and what they're writing and the work that they're putting into it by just calling it dragon smut.
So I also want to just kind of throw in a little thing in here, like the publishers are doing it too. And for me, like they're using it to market the book. Part of me is saying it's because they want to kind of get the TikTok community on the book talk community on board. But it's not just the readers who are doing it. Clearly, mass media is doing it. It's in the headline. Publishing is doing it. Marketing professionals are doing it. So I don't know. It has me curious. What do you think, Laura?
I think I think it's hard because this series is being an entry level of what Sarah J. Maas used to do for fantasy and romantasy. This is a new series that getting new readers into this pipeline of reading books, and it's reading the guilty pleasures. It's accepting that you're reading something that doesn't sound like literary fiction, and they call it guilty pleasure, mom smut, or dragon smut, and stuff like that, just to downgrade because it's mainly female readers who are reading this. So it's misogyny and patriarchy happening in places. I did read Fourth Wing. It was fine. I did not decide not to continue with the rest of the series. I have friends who are rereading it multiple times and finding comfort in the graphic audio and finding comfort in the audios and getting Onyx Storms. And so it's really fun to see this level of good stuff happening to the same level that we had with Harry Potter back in the day or Twilight. It's just the same idea. It's just going to that place of midnight releases and having parties and having conversations and having a place to have connection with one another. So it's the series that's happening, but it's recycled drama over and over.
Yeah.
That I agree with. Definitely recycled. But let us know if you're watching live again. Let us know your thoughts on the Rebecca Yarros of it all, the books, the way they're marketing the books, and just everything revolving the series. Before I move on to the next topic, I do want to shout out Erin F. Erin mentions, I do love my Kobo, and also followed up with totally agree about consolidation. I'm not an unlimited person, but I do see a lot on Kobo's similar program. So yeah, I'm of the same view. Listen, it's all holly and jolly to have an idea and want to do something and use the existing platform, but I think it's also worthy to reach out and kind of collaborate with other businesses because one business isn't going to take down Amazon. It's gotten too big, over too long. I mean, Amazon's been around like a hot minute. Something new isn't going to take down a company who's been in existence. Hold on, let me do the math. It would be like getting close to 30 years, no?
Yeah. And they really were the ones drove the ebook industry and were the birth of self-publishing for indie authors. So it's hard to compete. So really, if anything is going to compete, it has to be a group effort.
It has to be
that it's like a one thing, and you got to think of how are people going to be reading it. Like it's got to be something where it's easy. There's a device and everything connects and everything works. So yeah, there's a lot of logistics and
I see if there was one competitor will be Kobo, it has Walmart money.
Right.
It's another big corporation. It has Rakuten money. And it's known internationally. So it's basically getting the American market. And I think that's the hardest part, is getting the American market to buy into this, change the way you do things,
Yeah.
And you also have to make it easy. So if you're just joining us, welcome. This is our bookish lunchtime chat. Welcome to Novel Hour. This is our gossip session. We go live every other Monday just to talk about all things in the bookish community, news, gossip, pop culture, and all the things. Again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about bookshop.org, now selling ebooks. Catch the replay if you're just joining us, but we talked about that. We also talked about Rebecca Yarros and just how her books are really taking the publishing world by storm, readers by storm, and just the response, both from a media perspective, using the word smut, and publishers and marketing and all the above. So we're going to get into some book to screen adaptations. This is something that I personally saw, and it's the announcement of the cast for Tony Adeyemi's Children of Blood and Bone. These are just some of the folks, okay, on the cast. Now I'm blanking on their names, but we have like Idris Elba, what's my girl's name, who just did Wicked, Viola Davis, to me, just some amazing people. I'm really excited for the cast. However, people had opinions about the main character not looking like how the main character is described in the book. I'm not going to prolong this too long. I'm just going to say I'm just glad to see a whole bunch of Black people being cast for the film. She also mentioned that she's also going to get even more Nigerian folks involved as well. So I think it's really exciting. And I think as a person who has been a bookish purist for a long time, I'm recently getting into adaptations. One of the things with watching adaptations is recognizing that what is in the book won't necessarily match up with what we see on screen. So if the storyline is also kind of changing, I think we also need to be a bit open-minded about the actors and actresses and just folks playing these roles. I was really bothered the fact that she wasn't the right skin tone, like she isn't the right shade of Black. People ain't saying she's not Black, but they're just saying she's not the right shade. And that really bothered me. I know it's something within the Black community we have to work through ourselves, not discounting everybody else having an opinion. But needless to say, I'm happy with the cast. I am okay. And I'd love to hear y'all's opinions on it as well. If you're excited for it, if you've read the book and the series, or if you're going to get into it before the production is made, yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. But did y'all see this online? I know this was a me thing. You saw it online, Laura?
Yeah, I saw it online, and everyone's gonna have an opinion. Do you have an opinion about Little Mermaids?
That's a good one. I forgot about the Little Mermaid. Yes.
Everyone has an opinion about casting, and especially in this political undertone where people are coming out of the woodwork, coming out fully themselves. So
people are wild.
But I think in general, also people that are readers have very strong opinions about book adaptations and what characters are supposed to look like in their mind anyway. Mm-hmm. So like you're dealing with both of those things in one, which is really difficult.
Yeah, it's really.
I never read the book, so I have.
No, I get it. And look, fun fact, y'all, I love Rebecca. I believe all roads lead back to Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I have never watched an adaptation. And I was actually chatting to someone in the comments on social, and I'm like, I'm challenging myself. One, I want to reread it again. Yes, I'm that person. But I also want to actually watch the adaptation. I know in my brain, I am, what's the word? I have the characters in my head too, which is why I've been fearful. It's going back to me being a once upon a time purist. And I didn't want to ruin that because Rebecca has been in my head for years. Okay. It's coming up on a 30-year relationship we've been having. So I don't want to ruin it. So I understand that, but I also understand the reactions. I also want to shout out Erin. Thank you for chatting with us in the comments. Erin says, so excited about Adeyemi's movie. I am too. I am so excited. It's going to be a good old time. It really is. And everyone's going to have an opinion. Okay, they're going to have an opinion. Erin also had a question, so I want us to address it. I think this is probably Laura's wheelhouse. And Fran, I would love to know your favorite sources for finding out about good indie books without relying upon Amazon's marketing.
So there's a couple places I would suggest. Looking at influencers, Book Talk is a good place to look for, but just look out for what they're recommending beyond the big titles. So it's a lot of it, like they'll say the Twisted series or they'll say the stuff, but there'll be like books like similar, and a lot of times they'll share those influencers. Influencers do help with the marketing. Facebook, it's surprisingly, if you join different Facebook groups based on your favorite niche and favorite trope, they're actually playing in Facebook groups, and you can ask for recommendations. If you like cheating, if you like mafia, I've discovered like little known authors, like debut authors, friends, like connect with people that actually have similar reading tastes, whether it's online, on communities, like you can see Goodreads, you can find Storygraph. I don't think Storygraph has good with friends, but Goodreads, places like Instagram, Book Talk, and follow those people or just start to get recommendations, start getting feed for them. Like that content, and you get more content from that person.
Yeah. And actually, I'm going to add a place that I really love is Reddit.
I was just going to say that.
Reddit has great recommendations, and a lot of those are indie books as well.
Yeah.
And you're going to really get feedback as well. So you can either post your questions or just browse. Just go on whatever Reddit board, it's whatever you're looking for, and just search, or just search on Google for something that you're looking for and add Reddit at the end. And you're going to find lots of books. Plus, I mean, minor plug, but you can subscribe to our newsletters. We're always recommending.
We're
always recommending indie books.
Laura and Francesca recommend the most indie books. I really don't as much, so I can't even say subscribe to me. But subscribe to What to Read Next. Sign up for Substack, and also the Under the Covers community. They do share a lot. I was just going to chime in and say Reddit. Laura introduced me to Facebook groups, so now I'm starting to search like Facebook groups and stuff like that. And you do find people going down the rabbit hole. So yeah. Lots of
I hardly ever rely on Amazon marketing though. Like it's so rare for me to pick up a book. I have to be like just in the right mood, and it just catches me like off guard, and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds good. Otherwise, I would never pick up something just because I see it like this is what you would like next on Amazon. So
yeah, for sure. All right, guys, we have lots of topics we want to run down with you all. If you're just joining us, we covered bookshop.org now selling ebooks. We talked about Rebecca Yarros, Onyx Storm, and her whole series. We just wrapped up Tony Adeyemi, Children of Blood and Bone. And now we're really going into the drama. Okay, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. I feel like this is what's the guy's name again? Something Depp and Amber Heard. I kind of feel
Johnny Depp,
thank you. I kind of feel like this is all consuming, kind of like that, and we haven't even hit the courthouse yet. Every minute there's something else being dropped, from voice notes, text messages, and all the things. I mean, I'm of the view, I'm really trying to reserve my judgment until one, we get more information and we get closer to the time. But if you're watching live, I'd love to hear from you. Like, how are you just feeling on the surface right now? Again, okay, we're listening, we're watching, we're not really judging. But what are some of the feelings bubbling up on the surface? If you're watching live, we'd love to hear from you. Replay crew, we'd love to hear from you as well. We also want to throw in Colleen Hoover as well, because this is also Colleen Hoover's adaptation. And needless to say, in the wake of things, first Colleen Hoover was like all gung-ho. And look, by the way, we are team believe women because men are trash. Okay, let's be very clear about that. But now Colleen Hoover is nowhere to be found on social media. Some folks are speculating, is she retiring? Is she just going to disappear? What is going on? But one thing we know, she's not on socials. The retirement question, that is up in the air. So we'd love to know your thoughts. But let's start with Justin and Blake. I'm going to tell you all, we're in for a long ride. First of all, I think the court case is next year, what, March or something, or May? I don't remember, one of those months. It's an M, so it's March or May. So we have all of 2025 to get through with these people before we even get to a courthouse. So it's going to be a while. Now, if you're into astrology, I wanted to pull up the birth charts, but this morning life has been lifing. Blake is a Virgo, and Blake has a lot of Virgo in her chart. And I know I've kind of been hinting at this all last week when we were promoing come to the gossip session today. If you know anything about a Virgo, but more importantly, a Virgo who has so many Virgo in their chart, she's going to stick with this. She's going to ride it to the end. And my conspiracy theory is her husband was butthurt, and he's the driving force behind this. I don't think she's 100% behind this. That's my conspiracy theory. Alleged. We don't know for a fact. That's my conspiracy theory. But what I do know about a Virgo is she's never letting this go. She's going to ride this into the train. And Justin Baldoni has a lot of Capricorn in his chart, okay? And I know a Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. And he is not going to let this one go. He is going to turn over every stone because he wants to prove his innocence. I think I've ranted. Francesca, you're my other astrology woo friend. What are you feeling about this whole thing?
I mean, on the astrology, 100% what you just said. I think both of the sides are going to take this to the end, which I love. I mean, we want to know all the details, so please do take it to the end. Okay, so I don't know if you guys read the book, but I may be the only one here that read the book. I don't know.
Mhm.
So
I read the
I was actually
book.
excited when I heard that this was going to be made into a movie because I actually appreciated the book for what it was, which was a story that reflected the side of domestic violence, the victims of domestic violence, and I thought that it could have been such an empowering moment to bring light to the subject, to bring healing to the subject, and also it could have been a great opportunity for maybe a woman that is in that situation see the movie and maybe it would give her the strength to seek help and all of these things. So coming from the perspective of the premiere of the movie and what happened and how the movie was marketed, it left such a bad taste in my mouth that I have not watched the movie. I probably will not watch the movie. So that's the first thing that I was really disappointed with this whole thing. And the more things come out with this lawsuit, it really shows you that we could have had that. We could have had the real depth to what the book and what the story was about had this not gone into this Hollywood disaster situation. So that's disappointing because the essence of why the book was written and why the movie should have been made and the purpose of it was diluted and lost. So that was not good. And then the other thing is there's been a lot of I was fully like, okay, so when she first filed her lawsuit, okay, fully behind her, blah blah blah. That was me.
Me-
But the more things are coming out, I'm like, and like you said, this is really not looking good either for Ryan Reynolds because there's even things coming out about his Deadpool movies that I am just like, wow, so this is a pattern of behavior. And I don't know, I think that this is just going to completely crash their careers.
Oh, and that's another thing with the Virgo. They are going to crash and burn. They're going to
Self
listen.
destruct.
We are going to watch Blake self destruct. I'm so sorry. I don't
They're
even
going
want to
to
do that. Self destruct. I'm telling you, she's going to take it. But I do think he's also a driving force behind it. I also want to say, yeah, when she filed her lawsuit, 100%, Team Blake, I'm starting to question, which is why I'm saying, you know what? Let me just wait till I get more information. I do also want to say, because I was explaining it to my husband, he's, what is going on? Because he's really not glued in. And when I was explaining the dynamic, the first thing he said, well, he is her boss. I was like, yes. But then I inserted this dynamic, which I know is something he can relate to with his job. And I'm sure some of you all watching can relate to this too. So you have a job, right? And this is more common if you work with private businesses and small businesses. So you get this job and you're like this shop manager, okay? And you know who the owner is. Because again, this is a little mom and pop business. You know who the business owner is. And then one day, the business owner's son comes to work for the business, or daughter. Let me use proper genders. The daughter comes to work for the business. Now you're the manager and you're in charge of the daughter. Now, technically, on paper, you are the manager. However, you are very full aware this is your boss's daughter.
Yeah.
So even though she is an employee, right? And technically, you're the manager, which means the power imbalance, like he's the boss. But because she's a daughter, that power imbalance is off because of that relationship. I use that analogy to explain. I was explaining to my husband that Blake Lively, yes, Justin Baldoni is the boss, and Blake Lively is an employee. Make no mistake about that. However, she's like the boss's daughter because of all the connections she has. Like being married to Ryan Reynolds is no joke.
Yeah.
And Taylor Swift being your best friend, also, like you are pushing weight here. And I can't even imagine just all the other people. And when I heard that voice note, which by the way was cringe, and I actually should have played it for my husband and asked him, like, how would you feel if someone, well, I know he would be like, this is inappropriate. I know that. So yeah, I shouldn't even say that. He would definitely say it's inappropriate. But I also heard someone who sounded desperate. But like I said, I am going to wait before I pass judgment. But clearly I'm judging right now because.
But then also after the voice note, he sent a long ass message to Ryan himself.
Yes.
And then that also was a little bit like you could tell that this is somebody that really needed the big celebrities to stay on board and stay
Mm-hmm.
everything like he was really trying to keep everything calm and fine and make sure that everything goes well with
Mhm.
the project. So yeah, I definitely see a little bit of that desperation. And then on the reply from Ryan was very much so, oh, you're so lucky that my wife is part of your project. Like, after you get a message from a guy that's telling you, I really want to be your friend, and then you're like, you're so lucky to have my wife working on your project.
That's what I'm saying. It's took. I know, for example, most of us probably have some experience in corporate America or corporate world, okay, or just some working experience. We know power imbalances exist, and we know men, which is why, again, men are trash, but the imbalances with men and how they're given more and how they're unqualified for stuff, but they get more than women. Like, trust me, I get it. But I feel like in this situation, ooh, this man sounded desperate to make something happen. But I want to know from Laura real quick. How do you feel about Colleen Hoover disappearing from social media? That is what I want to hear, my friend.
I saw her last post. I think I saw one of her last posts where she was like, I support Blake and goes all the way. And then people were starting bringing receipts about other issues that happened with Colleen Hoover. And she's like, it was misconstrued. So I think she just took it as, I'm taking a social media break. I don't want to deal with the haters. I don't want to deal with the people, because Colleen Hoover was a darling for a long time for many people. But then, as always, the internet turns, and there's a lot of haters. There's a lot of people who do not agree with her books and her writing and her life and what she does. And yes, she has done a lot of good. She has done a lot of good for the community, and like with Book Bonanza being a nonprofit, and her community indie and all these other things. But it seems like she has closed down all her businesses, all her books, all her social media, and she's just riding off the sunset with her millions of dollars that she has earned in royalties and book deals and movie deals, because she got Verity
Mhm.
coming up sometime soon. So she's riding on the sunset, and maybe that's what
I
you just
don't
need
I
to
don't
do.
blame her.
Like, I don't
I
need to
don't
go
blame
through.
her. I would do it too. I'm just letting you all know,
Yeah.
okay? Again, we're talking trash. That's what this is for. But make no
Yeah,
mistake. If I ever see that kind of money, y'all will never see me again.
yeah, I'll be like, whatever. I don't need to work a day in my life. I can just choose how I want to spend my time, and I can choose to not have to deal with customers and
Yep.
people and
Yep.
people's opinions on the internet. Everyone's a sideline coach, so I have an opinion of how things are
Yeah.
going. So
Yeah. I totally
good
don't
for her
blame her.
right
Take
now.
your millions and just go and enjoy them, and that's it. Don't deal with the bullshit. I would totally
Boundaries. You
do
don't
that.
need to be like
I would do
president.
that. Listen, the internet is a rough
Yeah.
place out there, folks. It's a rough
Yeah.
place out there. But let us know your thoughts about the Colleen Hoover of it all, the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni. Listen, if you want to blame Ryan Reynolds, jump on that bandwagon. I
Yeah.
feel like that one will never fail. If you don't want to take a side right now because it's early, like with Blake and Justin, trust me, I get it. Reynolds is a very appropriate punching bag. But also,
Yeah.
let us know your thoughts on the Colleen Hoover of it all. Also, do you think she's going to retire? Is this it for her? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Replay crew, we'd love to hear from you as well. Okay, next up, the one thing I know, we had a whole bunch of other stuff we wanted to talk about, but we're going to have to roll something over to the next gossip session. But the one thing I really wanted to talk about is the Grammys. I really want to talk about the Grammys. I think it's what, the 75th, 76th? I don't know. Grammys was last night. So if you're watching live, it was last night, Sunday, February 2nd. And I was very interested in it just because the Jamaican in me was very excited for the reggae category. Of course, they never announced that on stage night of kind of vibes, but you just troll the internet until that happens. I also saw Kai Cenat was streaming from the red carpet, so that was very interesting as well. And I saw Kai with quite a few of the Jamaicans kind of hyping them up, and it was just good for me to see. So that was my primary interest in it. Then I was like, oh, I can watch it so I can come talk to y'all about it today. So I did. So I'm going to give you a highlight of the Grammys just in case you didn't watch it and you didn't have an opportunity to keep up or troll social media with it. So I have some images. So let me just pull them up here. Okay. So the first one. Okay. Should we start? Okay. You tell me. Should we start with the good news or the bad news? Or the
Bad.
hype? The winners
Bad.
or the losers?
We
Let's start
can
with the
end on a
bad and
good
then
note.
end with the
End on
good.
a good note. So let's start with the losers. Okay. The biggest loser, I don't want to call them a loser. All right, let me start with this. This is crazy. Okay, the people who got snubbed. So they're not the losers, but they got snubbed. Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish got snubbed. So they aren't losers, okay? They're doing their thing out here in these streets, but unfortunately, they got snubbed at the Grammys. Lots of nominations, zero wins. Now, the truth is, the biggest loser at the Grammys, like the biggest loser, and I did not pull his image because we're not giving him space, is Drake. So if there are any Drake fans out there, listen, I love you as people, but him, not so much. Okay, I had feelings about Drake from the beginning, but the biggest loser at this year's Grammy, so if you want talking points for your next outing with your friends, was Drake. And let me tell you why Drake was the biggest loser. Because Kendrick Lamar got 4 or 5 Grammys for the diss track that he did against Drake. They're Not Like Us. Or Not Like Us, I think is the official title. But I'm always saying, they're not like us. They're not like us. Listen, he won Song of the Year. He won Record of the Year. He won something to do with the video. He won Best Rap Song. He won something else. And just to give you all some background, Drake is suing the label. It's a whole mess. So the fact that, and I love a good diss song, I'm just saying, I'm from that culture. It's always good when you have feuds, I think, musically, okay? We don't endorse violence. And this one just really got people on the internet going. So the beat is very catchy, the production was great, and the Grammys clearly loved it. So the biggest loser is Drake, and the winner, to prove it all, is Kendrick Lamar. And if y'all are watching on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're streaming this right now, if you can see the picture, just come back and look at the screen. Kendrick Lamar is wearing all denim. And they call all denim outfits a Canadian tuxedo. So for me, that even the outfit is a diss, okay? Yeah. Even the outfit is a diss. Did you all know about the Drake and Kendrick thing? Because I know the Grammys thing is my talking segment.
I can't wait for Drake to sue all 14,000 members for recording and just say, defamation, you did wrong.
I love it.
Can't wait. Also, another one.
Yes, let him take it to court. And you know
we need to look at his astrology.
Good point. I did not do that, but that's a good call. And I know he's feeling some type of way because everyone, and I mean everyone in the Grammys was singing, even Beyonce, okay? A minor, everyone's that. It was funny. So, okay. So that's the negative, but the positive, because Kendrick deserved that. It really was a really great song. It was good. It was good, even though it's a diss track. Real good. Okay, on a lighter note, more positive, Chappell Roan gave us an amazing performance. What's the song called? Pink Pony Club. Mm-hmm. Brilliant. I mean, when I saw that pink pony on the stage, I was just like, okay, sis, come through. Love Chappell Roan. That was amazing. Sabrina Carpenter kind of gave us pinup girl kind of vibe. Sabrina Carpenter also had a great a great night at the Grammys. I forgot to mention Chappell Roan. Let me just put her back up there. Got Best New Artist. I forgot to mention that. And then Sabrina Carpenter got, I think it was Best Pop Album. Yes, and Best Solo Performance. So yeah, Best Pop Album and Best Solo Performance for her Espresso song, because you hear that everywhere. But who I was really also happy from, and fun fact, ladies, this next person is from Tampa, Florida, is Doechii.
Yes.
Doechii came through, okay? She's a rapper from Tampa. And honestly, I think she's one of them very promising MCs. And she's the third female to win Best Rap Album. What I loved about it, and I'm even getting chills, is that the award was presented by Cardi B, the only other woman to have won it within this recent couple of years. So Cardi B, which by the way, Cardi B is such a presence. I mean, she came out with her little stuff. How you doing? Yeah, I love Cardi B. Okay, I ride for Cardi B. I love seeing her come up and her winning that award. I think prior to that, who won it again? Lauryn Hill. Yes. So Lauryn Hill was the first woman to win. And now these two women are singles. So she won as a singles artist, which is amazing. So kudos to Doechii, and to find out Doechii from Tampa, Florida. Hello. That was also great. Also worthy to mention Beyonce, finally, after how many years now? 15, 16, how many years? Beyonce finally.
20, 20. She's been around since 1999, 2003 when she released her single "Crazy in Love." Because I remember I graduated
I
from
love that
college
Crazy
that
Love
summer,
album, okay? And she
and
had some
that's
Jamaicans on it too. So here we go.
it's 20 something. It's been 22 years as a solo artist. 25 years since
Okay, I
Destiny's
did not
Child.
realize the gravity.
I know my Beyonce lore.
Gosh, I didn't even realize it was that deep. But I love that Crazy in Love album. Again, she had them Jamaicans on it. It was a bop. It was a time. Yeah. Anyways, Beyonce finally won Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter. Now, it's kind of like a bittersweet moment because I know a lot of people are saying, one, did it have to take a country album to get there? What about all her other pop songs, this songs, R&B, everything, whatever. But anyways, look, she won it. We're going to take it. And so that's a big thing. Beyonce finally won Album of the Year. I'm going to end on a fun note. And the funnest thing for me was seeing Charlie XCX. Y'all need to Google. Do yourself a favor. Google Charlie XCX Grammy 2025 performance. Sis had a whole rave on the stage. It was... I was getting a little British invasion vibes at the Grammy, but I was living for it. But in this one, she just went all out. I'm going to say Charlie XCX went full brat because everybody I felt kind of was brought to attention with her with the whole brat summer and whatever. This performance, I mean, I've seen some things, but this one was wild. So if you're looking for a wild kind of take you out of your comfort zone and space and whatever, Google Charlie XCX performance. I think those are some of the highlights. And I'm just going to put back up there real quick to close us out. Kendrick Lamar winning all these Grammys for the diss track and him wearing all denim Canadian tuxedo. Okay, take that in, people. Take that in. I'm telling you, Drake was the biggest loser at the Grammys, 100%. Sorry, Drake. I don't know how he's going to handle that now.
Oh, he's not handling that well.
I don't know. I mean, how would you feel the song that was really dissing you and saying all kinds of stuff? I mean, the song was wild. If y'all don't know the song, go Google the lyrics. Okay, it is. Some allegations are up in there, all kinds of things. Oof. He called him some names. Okay, the colonizer one took me out though. I'm not gonna lie. When he called him that, I was like, wow, savage. And then the Grammys are clearly saying this is iconic and gave him all these Grammys. And everyone in the Grammy audience vibing, even your girl Beyonce saying, yeah, Drake, someone needs to check on Drake. Okay. If you're a Drake fan or a friend of Drake, check in on Drake. He cannot be doing good today. But yeah, so that's it for the Grammys. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel? Your thoughts on the Grammys. Did you watch the Grammys? Did you know any of these highlights? Let us know your feelings. Look, if you're Team Drake, okay, read me. It's okay. It's okay. Drake fans, y'all can come out. If you like, you have to agree with me. Definitely not. But yeah, so those are the Grammy highlights. Outside of that, I just want to invite you all to join us this Thursday at Novel Hour. We are going live this Thursday at 12 noon. Okay, so if you're subscribed, you'll get the notification bell. We will be sharing, what do you call this thing? Books for Valentine's Day, romance stories for Valentine's Day, epic romance stories. If you're not in the Valentine's mood, that is fine. Next week, we're going to be sharing best friendship stories. So if you've been watching us for some time, we used to go live later. Now we're going live every Thursday, 12 noon Eastern time. We really hope to see you there. And we have some great recommendations to share with you. We also have some other stuff coming up as well. If you subscribe to my Substack, bibliolifestyle.substack.com. This week, I'm sharing my February cozy guide. I'm sharing some romance books. I'm sharing some Valentine's Day ideas. You're going to get some pairings, playlist pairings, snack pairings, vibe check, discussion questions for some really fun romance books. Also, if you want to read something for Black History Month and you want to focus on an author, a Black author, the list will also have you covered. So you can get your Black History Month reading done, but also something light and fun and frothy and just joy filled. That's what you'll get. So the February Cozy Guide is going live on Thursday. But tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm going to be sharing my own personal journey on how my reading tastes have evolved. And I'm also going to give you a PDF checklist, a worksheet, where if you're interested in trying new genres, it can help you work through that. Fran, what do you have coming up on Under the Covers?
So actually this week we're announcing our Winter Market Square event, which is the seasonal event for Romantasy. The event itself is going to be happening at the end of the month. It starts February 24th, but you'll actually be getting the prompts for the event, so you can start setting your TBRs and all of that this week. And I'm also going to have over on Substack recommendations for the prompts that are for the Winter Market Square event. So all of that is going to be on YouTube. You'll find the announcement, so you'll be able to see what the prompts are and all of the details on how to participate. And also on Substack, you'll get all of the printables for it, or the guidebook, the cards, and all of that, as well as recommendations. So all of that is coming this week.
Amazing. What's up with you, Laura? What's new?
Something with a murder kind of mood. So I've been doing thrillers, so there will be anticipated new thrillers. I just released a list of thrillers available in Hoopla as well as in Kindle Unlimited, so you can get them for free if you're in any of the memberships. So more thriller mystery content this week, but then we'll get back to romance next week. So we're gonna mash it
Yes,
out.
we love a good mashup. Yes, we do. We do. So lots of exciting content from all of us. Again, if you subscribe to one Substack, you'll find us all as well. And if you're just joining us, you missed a gossip session. You're going to have to be a part of the replay crew. We talked about bookshop.org selling ebooks, Rebecca Yarros, Onyx Storm, and just all her books, and the online reaction, Tony Adeyemi's Children of Blood and Bone cast, of course, the Blake Lively and the Justin Baldoni and Colleen Hoover. I mean, is she gone or what? I will always take an opportunity to share Kendrick Lamar, okay, with all those Grammys, so that diss track. Okay, Chappell Roan, Doechii, Sabrina Carpenter, Beyoncé finally winning for an album, and of course, Charlie XCX. Again, I'm telling you, I have never seen her perform. Wild, wild. But if you love us and you want to hear more from us, be sure to join us on Thursday. We're going to be talking about epic romance stories for Valentine's next week. We are going to be doing friendship stories. So thank you all for watching. Tell a friend to tell a friend so they can come join us live and chat with us. Also, special shout out to Erin F. Okay. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching and leaving comments. Oh, you love a checklist? Listen, yes, you're going to get a checklist. It's going to be a good time. So special shout out to Erin F. So don't be scared. See, she is sharing in the comments. We don't bite. And I love this one. Beyonce wins the world. Listen, it's Beyonce's universe. Okay. We are just living in it. We are just living in it. And she finally won that album, y'all. She finally won that album. All right, next time we'll talk TV because we're going to do that. No, Erin, you don't talk too much. You fine.
No.
We like a chatty friend. We like a chatty friend. But yeah, we're going to hop off now and we hope to see you all next time. See you Thursday. Bye.
Bye.